You're networking all wrong, and it's costing you relationships that could transform your career. The conference badges, the LinkedIn connections, the coffee meetings, mostly wasted effort leading nowhere. You're playing a networking game designed for you to lose. Here's what nobody tells you. Generic value gets generic attention. Your wide range of skills and diverse background make you forgettable. Every networking event is filled with people just like you, generalists hoping to be discovered. It's time to face reality. Nobody is looking for another well-rounded professional with good communication skills. What they are desperately searching for is the go-to person for a specific, valuable problem they face. The specialized knowledge strategy completely transforms your networking from pursuit to attraction. Instead of chasing opportunities, you become the opportunity that others pursue. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how I used specialized knowledge to build relationships with senior executives, industry leaders, and gatekeepers who previously ignored me. This isn't theoretical. It's the exact process I used to go from unknown to having CEOs request meetings with me. The Specialization Paradox. First, let's destroy the dangerous myth that's keeping you invisible. I need to be well-rounded to appeal to more people. This is completely backward. The broader your positioning, the less valuable you appear to any specific person. Think about it. When you have a specific, urgent problem, do you want someone who knows a little about everything, or everything about your specific issue? The specialization paradox is simple. The narrower your focus, the wider your appeal to the people who matter. By becoming the definitive resource in one valuable area, you become irreplaceable to a specific group rather than replaceable to everyone.
Let me prove this with a simple thought experiment. Imagine you're a CMO struggling with podcast attribution for your marketing campaigns.
Who would you rather meet? A marketing expert with broad experience across multiple channels. The person who literally wrote the guide on podcast attribution models that everyone in the industry uses. The answer is obvious. Specific value creates irresistible networking gravity that generic value never will. The knowledge gap analysis. Now let's get tactical. The first step is identifying your specialized knowledge domain using my knowledge gap analysis framework. This isn't about what you're passionate about. It's about finding the perfect intersection of 4 key factors. Existing knowledge foundation, areas where you already have above-average insight, organizational pain points, specific problems causing friction for your target relationships, low competition spaces, domains where few others are positioning as experts, career strategic value, alignment with your long-term objectives. Here's how to conduct your own knowledge gap analysis. First, create a comprehensive inventory of your knowledge assets. These aren't just your formal credentials, include projects you've worked on, problems you've solved, industries you understand, and specialized tools you've mastered. Be exhaustive and specific. Next, research the explicit pain points of your target relationship group. What problems do they consistently mention in interviews? What questions do they ask in industry forums? What topics come up repeatedly in their conference agendas? Create a prioritized list of their top 10 challenges. Then, analyze the competitive landscape for each potential specialization area. Google topic expert and see how many established voices appear. Check LinkedIn for people with that specialization in their headline. Look for specialized communities focused on the topic. You're looking for the sweet spot, important problems with inadequate expert coverage. Finally, evaluate strategic alignment with your career path. Will this specialization open doors to the right relationships? Does it position you for your next desired role? Will it remain valuable as your industry evolves? Rate each potential specialization area on a scale of 1-10 for long-term strategic value. Now map each potential specialization on the knowledge specialization matrix. Quadrant 1, high demand, low competition, your primary targets. These are valuable problems with few recognized experts. Quadrant 2, high demand, high competition, secondary targets requiring differentiation. These are crowded spaces where you need a unique angle. Quadrant 3, low demand, low competition, emerging opportunities. These might become valuable as trends evolve. Quadrant 4, low demand, high competition. Avoid these entirely. These are saturated spaces with limited relationship value. Your ideal specialization lives in Quadrant 1, high demand problems with limited expert competition. This is where you can quickly establish yourself as the go-to resource. Let me walk you through a real example from my own experience. When I was trying to build relationships in the venture capital world, I did my knowledge gap analysis and discovered I had above-average knowledge of user acquisition economics for subscription businesses. VC partners were struggling to evaluate CAC and LTV projections in pitch decks. Few people were specializing specifically in subscription metrics validation. This knowledge would be valuable across multiple investment categories. I identified a clear Quadrant 1 opportunity, becoming the go-to expert on validating subscription business metrics for venture investment decisions. Not broad subscription business expertise, the specific skill of validating unit economics in these businesses. Within 60 days, I was having coffee with partners from top VC firms who previously ignored my outreach. The specialization was narrow enough to be distinctive, but valuable enough to create genuine demand for my insights. The 30-day Specialized Knowledge Development System. Once you've identified your specialization area, you need to develop genuine expertise quickly. This isn't about becoming the world's foremost academic expert. It's about developing practical, valuable knowledge that solves real problems. Here's my 30-day system for developing specialized knowledge while working a full-time job. Days 1 to 3. Comprehensive Knowledge Audit Catalog. Everything you already know about the topic. Identify specific knowledge gaps through research. Create learning objectives for each gap. Develop your learning curriculum. Days 4 to 10. Immersive Learning. Sprint. Allocate 90 minutes daily to focused study. Prioritize practitioner resources over academic theory. Conduct. 5 to 7 interviews with people experiencing the problem. Join specialized communities and observe discussions. Days 11 to 20. Applied Knowledge Development. Create a solution framework for the core problem. Test your approach with real-world scenarios. Document edge cases and limitations. Refine based on feedback from practitioners. Days 21 to 25. Knowledge Consolidation. Organize your insights into a cohesive methodology. Develop 3 to 5 distinctive viewpoints that differentiate your approach. Create simple explanatory models and frameworks. Prepare answers to the 20 most common questions. Days 26-30. Knowledge Productization. Create tangible knowledge assets, guides, templates, tools. Develop concise, valuable explanations of complex concepts. Build a minimum viable methodology. Others can apply. Prepare your specialized knowledge demonstration. This systematic approach ensures you develop genuinely valuable expertise, not theoretical knowledge that fails in practical application. The focus on practitioner interviews and real-world testing builds the type of specialized knowledge that creates relationship opportunities. Value-first positioning. Now that you have specialized knowledge, you need to position it effectively for relationship building. The mistake most people make is leading with credentials instead of value. Your specialization is a solution to a specific problem. Position it that way. My value-first positioning framework has 3 components. 1. Problem articulation. Show that you understand their specific challenge better than they do themselves. Describe the problem with more precision and insight than they've heard before. For example, I've noticed that most subscription businesses struggle with CAC validation because they're conflating different acquisition channels in their blended metrics, which masks channel saturation problems. 2. Unique insight demonstration. Share a specific insight that demonstrates your specialized knowledge and challenges conventional thinking. For example, while most investors focus on the absolute CAC number, I've found that CAC volatility across cohorts is actually a stronger predictor of future acquisition problems than the raw number itself. 3. Value offer without reciprocation. Provide immediate value without asking for anything in return. For example, I've developed a simple 3-question framework that catches 80% of subscription metric problems in under 5 minutes. I'd be happy to share it with you to use in your initial pitch evaluations. This value-first positioning is radically different from typical networking approaches. You're not asking for time or opportunity. You're offering concrete value aligned with their specific needs. This flips the traditional networking dynamic entirely. The Specialized Knowledge Deployment System. With your specialized knowledge developed and properly positioned, you now need a systematic approach to deployment. This isn't about random networking. It's about strategic relationship development through knowledge leverage. The Specialized Knowledge Deployment System has 5 components. Knowledge asset creation. Develop tangible assets that demonstrate your specialized knowledge. 1 comprehensive, definitive guide to your topic. 3 shorter frameworks or methodologies addressing specific aspects. A simple diagnostic tool that provides immediate value. A curated resource list that saves others research time. These assets should be concise, practical, and immediately useful. They aren't theoretical white papers. They're tools designed for practical application. 2. Strategic visibility. Placement, position your specialized knowledge where your target relationships will encounter it. Contribute answers in specialized forums they frequent. Create content addressing specific questions they're asking. Develop case studies featuring problems they recognize. Offer targeted workshops in environments they already attend. The key is alignment between your placement strategy and their existing information consumption habits. You're not asking them to seek you out. You're appearing in spaces they already occupy. To problem-specific outreach. When initiating direct contact, focus entirely on their specific challenge. Reference a specific problem they've mentioned publicly. Offer a concrete resource addressing that exact issue. Suggest a time-bounded conversation. Focus solely on that topic. Make clear that your goal is to provide value, not extract opportunity. This approach has generated response rates above 70% for me with even senior executives, compared to typical networking email response rates below 10%. 4. Value escalation path. Create a clear progression that builds the relationship through increasing value. Initial value. Free resource addressing their specific challenge. Secondary value. Brief conversation providing customized insight. Expanded value. Problem-solving session applying your framework. Partnership value. Collaborative approach to a larger related challenge. Each step delivers standalone value while naturally creating opportunity for the next interaction. This eliminates the awkwardness of staying in touch without purpose. 5. Network amplification system. Leverage. Each relationship to create geometric growth. Document specific results. Your specialized knowledge achieved. Request introductions to others with the same problem. Create case studies featuring successful applications. Develop referral prompts that make introductions natural. The Specialized Knowledge Deployment System transforms networking from random connection to strategic value delivery. You're not collecting relationships, you're solving specific problems that create natural relationship opportunities. The 60-day go-to resource implementation plan. Let me give you a specific, day-by-day implementation plan to become the go-to resource in your chosen specialization. Days 1 to 5. Specialization selection. Complete your knowledge gap analysis. Research pain points in your target relationship group. Evaluate competitive landscape for potential specializations. Select your specific knowledge domain. Days 6 to 35. Knowledge development. Execute the 30-day Specialized Knowledge Development System. Conduct practitioner interviews and problem research. Develop your core methodology and frameworks. Create your initial knowledge assets. Days 36 to 40. Positioning development. Craft your value. First positioning statement. Develop problem articulation language. Refine your unique insight demonstrations. Create specific value offers for different relationship targets. Days 41 to 50. Asset placement. Identify primary visibility channels. Position knowledge assets in strategic locations. Establish presence in specialized communities. Create discovery paths for your target relationships. Days 51 to 60. Direct outreach. Implement problem. Specific outreach to priority relationships. Deliver immediate value through specialized knowledge. Execute value escalation with responsive context. document results, and refine your approach. At the end of 60 days, you will have transformed from a generalist seeking opportunity to a specialist creating opportunity. You'll have developed genuinely valuable specialized knowledge, positioned it effectively, and begun deploying it for strategic relationship development. The specialized knowledge mindset. Beyond the tactics and frameworks, becoming a go-to resource requires embracing a fundamental mindset shift. Stop thinking of networking as something you do. Start thinking of it as something you are. Stop trying to collect relationships. Start trying to solve specific, valuable problems. Stop asking what others can do for you. Start obsessing about what specific value you can provide. The specialized knowledge strategy isn't just a networking tactic. It's a completely different approach to professional relationships. You're not pursuing connections. You're becoming the person others pursue. This transformation doesn't happen through superficial techniques or networking events. It happens through the deliberate development and deployment of specialized knowledge that solves real problems for the people you want to build relationships with. Remember, nobody is looking for another generalist with good communication skills. They're desperately searching for the go-to person who can solve their specific, painful problems. Become that person through strategic knowledge specialization, and you'll never have to worry about networking again. Your specialized knowledge will create the relationships that transform your career.